First take for the video. It's already raining outside, so there's a lot of background noise. There's a movie going on in the living room, and I did not save my script file for this video. Life is great. Hello and welcome to yet another video, and today we want to talk about the Oneplus Nord and how it broke the internet. Because when you think about it, it's just a mid-range phone, it's a very good phone. But how was it the headlines? How was it catching the headlines? Because this is the same time Asus is launching the ROG phone, which is supposed to be the gaming phone which catches all the attention. All the power the phone has is just out of the roof. But even then, the Nord is what gets the attention. And I'm not comparing them in this video, but today I'm going to take a deep dive into first of all the Oneplus Nord, and after that just a bonus sideline conversation about what is the situation with the Oneplus Buds, which are Oneplus's own true wireless headphones, and how do they stand up, and will they stand up in the Indian market? Let's find out. So, in the first segment, we'll talk about why the Oneplus Nord catches all the eyeballs. And my first point is, it's a good phone. I mean, when you think about it, these mid-range smartphones, they are always made with a few particular things in mind. You always go all out for one or maybe two particular features, like the Pixel A series, which were toned down versions, the Pixel flagships essentially. They sold because they had a great Pixel flagship camera, but everything else just tuned down, and hence the price was tuned down too. It was a cheap phone, but with an amazing camera. Now, this is the same recipe to make any good mid-range smartphone. You go all out on one thing, bring everything else at average or below average, and you'll sell the phone. Sometimes it's a camera, it's a screen, it's the battery, or it's the performance. It can be anything, but OnePlus took a more non-traditional approach to this. Instead of going all out on one thing, they went average on all things. Instead of a curve graph, they have a flat line graph, if you're into science graphs, which not a lot of people are. Anyway, so I'm saying it's a good phone because when you think about it, the Oneplus Nord, let's talk about the specs for a minute. The resolution, 2400 by 1080, 20:9 aspect ratio, 90Hz simple, fluid AMOLED, and 4000 plus milliamperes battery. Good phone. Now, this is not something that is below average or even average, or not even something which will blow your mind. Good phone. I've said that too many times now, I'm not going to repeat it. But what I mean is, phones don't only sell because of the advertisement, which is my next point, why it gets the hype, how they built the hype, but they also sell because the phone holds ground. So that brings me to my next point, which is this phone was hyped, and I wouldn't be lying if I said it's a little bit overrated. It's not something that will blow your mind. It's a good phone, so it sells, but also it takes some real good skill to create a build-up for something as simple as a mid-range phone. Because here's the fact about the mid-range smartphone segment. You don't get customer loyalty in a mid-range segment, which is very prevalent in the premium segment. People who buy Apple phones, people who use iPhones a lot, they use AirPods, they use the Apple Watch, they use Macs, and they're in the ecosystem. They want to keep recurringly buying the iPhone. If people are buying Samsung phones, they want to keep buying Samsung phones. They have the Galaxy Buds, they have the Galaxy Watch. But in the mid-range phones, people are not willing to get into an ecosystem. They just want to get the best possible device in a budget, which was exactly the reputation OnePlus had when they started out. Now, OnePlus has been hammering this into people's heads ever since they started out, that we are a company of our customers, by our customers, for our customers, which is the basic principles of a democracy. And I don't know why I remember that from civics chapters. But anyway, that's not the point. The point is that OnePlus wanted to come back to the mid-range segment so that they can save their reputation. So with this OnePlus Nord smartphone, OnePlus really aimed to get back to the mid-range smartphone market, which was the exact market they were accused of letting go away or avoiding ever since the OnePlus 6T up to the OnePlus 8 Pro. But now they have a product for their mid-range fans too, while they also have a product for their relatively new premium fan base, all of which is great. But also, the hype build-up is not an easy thing to do, which I think I've already said enough. And there's two things that OnePlus did really good which I've never seen any other company do like this. The OnePlus Nord got its own Instagram page, and they released the specs painstakingly slow. One spec a day. That's how slow, and that's what gets people's attention and people want to know more about a device like that. They teased it so slowly on their Instagram page, or even through OnePlus's Instagram pages and Twitter handles and everywhere else on social media. And they use social media as a great tool to brand this device. And one thing which let me down was that the cable is red in color when everything else, all promotion material, was teal. That's why I'm wearing teal in this video, which is maybe not looking like teal because color grading is bad. But anyway, and this is what Dave 2D said in his video, that the colors should match up. And the second thing that I liked, which was really greatly done by OnePlus, was that they did YouTube interviews. Now, it's common for a company to send a phone over for YouTubers to review as a review unit even before the launch, or just send the main device for a test video. But this time, they went on the Waveform podcast with Marcus Lee and just a host of other things with other YouTubers where they actually send in the phone and a bunch of goodies. And that's how OnePlus has been. OnePlus in the past few years, they've been calling YouTubers to their factories to see how the production line up. And that way, more and more content is centered on OnePlus. And they very well understand that if you want to catch the youth, you catch them at what they watch all the time, which in today's time is really YouTube for the biggest part of our lives. But yeah, let's get back to the summary, because we always digress from the summary. It's a good phone. The PR was a real great job, and this is their returning story. It is a message to the fans that they're coming back to the mid-range segment, and maybe they're going to keep doing this. But anyway, it's a great job by OnePlus. Now that brings me to talk about the OnePlus Buds, which were launched alongside the OnePlus Nord, and they seem quite exciting too at first glance, but there's more to talk about it. But the OnePlus Buds are very, very, very similar to AirPods. And there's just one clear competitor. They are aiming at Apple, and all the YouTubers are talking about this, but when you look at it from an Indian user's perspective, that is clearly not the case for these buds. Pun intended. There are two clear competitors here. The first one, I think, when I thought about it, was the Realme Buds, which have a real complicated name. I'll write it somewhere. I'm just gonna call them the Realme Buds. Alright? And both of these products, the Realme Buds and the OnePlus Buds, have hard plastic casing, no soft ear tips, no passive noise cancellation because of the absence of the rubber tip sealing, and obviously no active noise cancellation. They have very similar cases with very similar Bluetooth pairing, which is common for all of these true wireless headphones these days, but just a fact to throw at you. I'm saying they're very similar, but their price is not. The OnePlus Buds aim to sell at around 5,000 rupees, whereas the Realme Buds go for 3,500. And the Realme Buds have been the general choice and the general key recommendation from a lot of people, and mostly YouTubers. But what I felt was, I was buying a pair of TWS headphones for myself a while ago, and I had two options that I boiled down to. It was the Realme Buds and the Noise Shots X Buds. And by just personal choice, I picked up the Noise Shots X Buds because there's just a few key things I like about them, which is the first one, a very good soft ear tip, good gesture control, which is not there on the Realme Buds, and also good ergonomic design, but passive noise cancellation, which, when you think about it, is kind of important to me. So when you think about this, both of these things are very, very subjective. You can prefer the hard plastic casing if it fits you, because for me, I've used the AirPods from a friend for a while, and yeah, they just fall off all the time. So I much prefer a silicone ear tip. If you're comfortable with it, you'll like one of these, or you'll hate one of these, and you'll prefer the other one. This is a very subjective topic, but if you like the kind of plastic hard cases, OnePlus Buds might be a thing to pay attention to. So last night at 12:30, I was recording the other part of this video, past midnight, because that's when there's less background noise compared to how noisy society I live in. But anyway, that was a time when I had no more to go through the spec sheet, but today's following morning, And when we talk about specs, there's one ground rule, because you're buying true wireless headphones. And true wireless headphones are not meant for superior, amazing audio quality. Rather, they have a more utilitarian approach. You just want to be on the go. You want to have just fast pair. You connect them, you open your case, connect them to your phone, you put them in your ears and just forget about them being there. Take quick calls, listen to quick music or videos. You just want them in, but you don't really care about amazing quality. You just want good audio quality with maybe gesture controls and good microphone support for calls. Let's just talk about specs, but I'll talk only about two main important things, which is one, the battery, how long they can last in one charge and what to expect from that, and the second one, the driver size. So talking about battery, the Noise Shots offer maximum battery, but they don't claim maximum playback. Let's throw numbers. The Oneplus per bud gives 35 milliamperes and 420 in the case. Noise Shots gives you 40 per bud and 650 in the case, and the Realme Buds give you 43 in the bud and 410 in the case. All of that is irrelevant, but the playback by OnePlus is claimed to be 30 hours. It's huge when you think about it. 30 hours of music playback with the case, it's great. The Noise Shots give you 20 hours and the Realme Buds give you 17. So they kind of run the same range, and I can bet my money OnePlus 30 hours, not really true, just an overstated number by a company. Now, that brings me to my driver conversation. The first one with OnePlus is 13.4mm, Realme Buds 13, almost the same. But the Noise Shots is way below all of these at 9mm drivers. But again, subjective, this is subjective, but when I used both the Realme Buds and the Noise Shots, I just felt the Noise Shots have a better audio quality, because when I wore the Realme Buds, I could hear a lot more ambient noise from around me, but I could not when I wore the Noise Shots just because of the passive seal. So when in a side-to-side comparison, the Noise Shots and the Realme Buds, you don't really have issues using the Noise Shots with a smaller driver because they compensate with the good silicon ear tip seal. And I think that's it. That's the only two important specs I feel. What do you think? Do you agree about? Because some things were subjective in this video, and the OnePlus Nord is just really something I would love to discuss about in the comment section. So go all out, and new suggestions for new videos, new suggestions for improvement of video quality, anything you have, put it on the comments below. It would mean a lot if you're new to the channel, if you subscribe, like the video obviously, and share it with people who might want to buy the phone or the buds or might find the channel interesting. Just views बढ़ा दे यार please. अब चलो, bye bye.